to just go up a level. There are 8 pillars that Steve Backlund has put together for effective leadership, and our year 2 students get to have one of those as their focus. So today we're going to hear from Tamara about the pillar of intentionality, one of my favorite pillars, Tamara. So before we get started on the juicy pillar of intentionality, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Tamara?
Well, thank you, Nikki. Thanks for having me on here today. This is just a joy to spend this time with you. So thank you, thank you. Um, my name is Tamara Pahl, and I live in Pendleton, Oregon, and that is the eastern side of Oregon. Very, very different than the western side. We are all dry land, an agriculture farming community at the base of the Blue Mountains, population 17,000. It's a small, beautiful community, and I absolutely love it here. Um, I am married and I have kiddos and 3 grandchildren, which is just the delight of my heart. It is just wonderful. Um, just just love having grandkiddos. There's nothing like it. It's just wonderful. Love serving in my community. Love being part of just being everything that a small town represents. It's just really lovely. And like you said, last year I was given the opportunity to be a part of the pioneering class of the Backlund Leadership Academy. And I'm just so thankful for this experience. And today is going to be really fun to talk about the pillar of intentionality. Looking forward to it,
Oh,
Nikki.
I love it. I love it. It's exciting. Tamara, before we get to the pillar of intentionality, tell us a little bit about how you came to uh, become part of the Igniting Hope family. What did that journey look like for you?
Oh, wow. So this is a really fun story. I was actually visiting Bethel at a conference down there and met somebody who was part of the Backlund team, as they were actually a student through BSSM, and they were a 3rd year. And this gentleman lived in La Grande, Oregon, which is only an hour from me. And he used to say that Steve Backlund is the secret sauce. And so we were like, okay. So then we went and listened to Steve speak, and we were like, what? What is this? How can one man live in this much hope and joy and really be this positive? And then we heard he's exactly that way on screen and off screen. And we're like, what? And so then just started diving into his book on declarations, went to the very first Hope and Joy conference, and just have really stayed in the Igniting Hope ministry ever since, because it's really, really just changed my life and what it means to be a hope-filled person. And so that is how I got started in with Backlund.
Igniting. It is so true, right? We hear that story so many times. Once you've tasted the fruits of the Backlund's uh, ministry, you have to come back for more.
Yeah.
And you're an igniting hope lifer. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a
I
little
love
bit
the
about
message.
this pillar of intentionality. Steve has so many wonderful, practical, funny stories of, procrastination and self-sabotage, and how the Lord just revealed so much truth around this pillar. But I'd love to hear from you what the leadership pillar of intentionality means to you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, can I first start with just like telling you why I chose this pillar?
Absolutely,
Okay, that would
absolutely.
be great. That'd be great. Because boy, this pillar just means a lot. But I chose this pillar of intentionality because, um, well, Steve has this phrase that he says that great leaders have great beliefs, great priorities, and great habits. And the most important person you lead is yourself. And as I lead myself, I have noticed that I might need to be a little more intentional in a few areas of my life. Because I had some great goals and some great want to, some things that I really wanted to do in life. But I wasn't maybe being quite as intentional as I could have been. So then all those goals and want tos were out there and they were amazing, but I didn't have systems, intentional systems in place um, to actually see those goals you actually come to pass. And so that was one reason why I chose the pillar of intentionality. And another reason that I chose it is that Steve's has 8 pillars and every one of them are absolutely amazing. But we were given the opportunity to pick one pillar. But I can see how the pillar of intentionality just needs and is required in every single one of the pillars. And I love that all the pillars overlap and they kind of come in together, but being intentional is an area that I really, really, really wanted to grow in. And so that's why I even chose the pillar of intentionality. And so, which is good, which I know you and I talked about before. And so I just kind of wanted to include that in. So, boy, what this pillar has meant to me. Something, since you just mentioned procrastination, something that the pillar of intentionality has done for me is it's really kicked fear and procrastination out the door. And I'm still growing in it for sure, but I am much less fearful and I procrastinate far less than I used to because of stepping into this pillar of intentionality. And what I mean by that is, like, I have some big dreams that I want to do with God. And then I look at those big dreams and I go, oh my gosh, how could I ever accomplish that? It just seems so big. And I even have like home projects that I want to get done. And I'm like, okay, where do I even start with that? Right. And I have relationships that I want to like really pour into and things that people that I want to really champion. And sometimes you're like, where do I start with that? And so this pillar of intentionality, even in all 3 of those situations, it's really helped me break it down to a day by day. It helped me put systems in place so that I could take those off into bite-sized pieces and start each day doing something, that was doable for me to accomplish things. I'd love to share this story with you. This is a Connie Jones story. It's a great one. And it really changed my life in the pillar of intentionality. But she shares this story. And this is an incredible analogy. But the analogy is that you have this humongous tree out in your yard. And you want to cut down this tree. You want this tree gone, but it's so huge, it's so big, and you look at it every day going, I want that tree cut down, but I could never do it myself. And so then she says, okay, take that tree, take that axe, go outside and take 5 chops every single day on that tree. And eventually that tree is going to come down. But it's true, right? In every area.
Absolutely.
Like, look at that tree and you're like, nope, can't do it. Nope, can't do it. Too big, can't do it. But if you go outside and you just take 5 chops a day, eventually that tree is going to come down. That tree is going to fall. And so that helped me so much of like, okay, I can break it down into little tiny pieces. And I can take 5 chops on an apple tree every single day, and it's going to come down, right? And I actually like that to even yard work in my yard. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to do it.
Exactly. I don't want to, but 5 I can do. And it's such a good analogy, right? It makes something that feels big into something, oh, I can do that. I can do 5 chops a day. I love Steve's, when he talks about his golfing and how he used to lose his pitching wedge, because he would walk to the green, pitch, not his pitching wedge, his drivers, because he didn't want to take it with him. But then he would forget it as they would go back to the golf cart and ride off, and he kept having to replace his club until he realized, if I throw my club between me and my golf cart, I have to bump into my club, right? And that is how I'm going to remember to pick up my club on the way to the golf cart. And so he talks about bumping into systems, right? Which I so love the practicality of that, because it made it personal to my life. And I could be, okay, Lord, I need to do these 5 chops today, right? I need to get to my tree. But how do I remember? Where are the systems that I've got to bump into? And just creating a system that I know that my brain doesn't have to try and remember, but it's going to come at me. I'm going to bump into it, and it's going to help me. So I wonder, Tamara, have you got some of these systems that you put into your life that you bump into so that you can consistently do them?
Yeah, yeah, I have lots. Actually, in pretty much every area of my life, I try to put um, a system in place that I bump up into. So, like even starting my morning, I start my morning with God, and I get my journal out and I write a whole list of things that I'm thankful for, and it just
Yes.
helps me turn my attention towards God, align with heaven. It's such a beautiful way to start my day, um, in thankfulness, reading the word. Um, but what's fun is like in this pillar of intentionality, I was like, okay, God, how can I take that even higher in intentionally seeking your face first thing in the morning? Because I already grab my cup of tea, sit down, write out thank yous, spend time with you, reading in the word. And how can I even take that higher in my intentionality? And and then we started just when I would wake up in the morning, I'm still laying in bed, and I would just connect with the Father. I would just sit right when I woke up and connect with Holy Spirit, Jesus, and just spend time before my feet ever hit the ground, just connecting with God. Of like, okay, who are you for me today? Who am I to you today? Just however it looks like for you to connect. But for me, just spending time with God, even before I got out of bed. And before I
Beautiful.
go to sleep at night, just intentionally seeking his face. And so that was just such a good upgrade in my intentionality with him. So
Oh, it's so
it is.
beautiful. Um,
Yeah.
Before I ask you my next question, I'm going to invite our viewers who are with us right now, if they have a question that they have for Miss Tamara around the pillar of intentionality, please feel free to pop it in the chat, and we'll have a look at it in a moment. So Tamara, in both years in Backlund Leadership Academy, part of graduation is a project, right? You're having a project, and completing this project. And I had the honor of running with you last year, and watching your beautiful encounter project come together. It was just such a privilege to be part of that and get to hear you in those encounters. Can you talk a little bit about how this pillar really helped you through the process of building your own project?
Yes, yes. So last year, starting a project, well, first of all, I kind of had to start with some declarations, and put some declarations in place to build a mindset that I could even accomplish this project. Because I wanted to do a project that was really encountering the presence of God and walking people through encounters. And so I had to start with being intentional about creating a belief system that I could do this project, that God was leading me in this project. So I had several mindsets that I had to really build up and strengthen to even start my project. But then in starting the project, I then put some systems in place of, okay, each week I am going to set out in my calendar, just like it's a job. I'm going to set time in my calendar and mark out times to spend intentional time in my project. So I marked out times that was kind of my high times of like, okay, I can easily mark out this time between 2 and 4 in the afternoon on these days to spend time on this project. And so I intentionally put it in my calendar and I kept those dates with God to work on that project. And so that was really huge for me. And then just like I said, the 5 chops on the apple tree or on the tree to get it to come down, I had to intentionally break it down of like, okay, today I am just taking this day, this one um, encounter, and I'm working on just this. I'm not going to look at the big picture of it, of the whole project. I'm taking it down to this bite-sized piece, and I'm just working on this day, on this devotional for this day of this project. And that was really, really helpful for me to put those systems in place of my calendar, of good declarations, good mindsets, praying, connecting with God before I would work on my project each day. So that was really huge. And then having you, Nikki, you were just foundational in my project of going to you and saying, okay, can you edit this? Can you look at this? Can you give me healthy feedback? And I love feedback. And so getting feedback from you of like, okay, you could do this. Here's places you can strengthen this. And it was really good to have all those systems in place of calendar, people, you in place. So it was great.
Yeah, and that actually speaks to what you said earlier about intentionality being in every of the other pillars. Thinking about healthy relationships, thinking about, even the transformational beliefs pillar, right? And how all of, how you actually had to go intentionally after your beliefs of being intentional, which is just such a great example of how those pillars really do lean on each other. We have a question from our beautiful Miss Angela Parker, and she asked, well, and I've just touched on it right now, but she asked, how important are your beliefs when it comes to the topic of intentionality?
Oh boy, I would say beliefs are, it's key, right? The word says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And what I discovered in even doing my doing my project and my project this year that I'm working on is without good beliefs, I don't move forward. I don't move forward at all. And so the intentionality of creating good beliefs before you ever start the project, it makes the project go so much smoother. Otherwise, I fear there would be a lot of tears involved.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. It's so good. Do you have an example? And it's okay if, I know because this is just on the fly, but do you have an example of something that you just before these pillars you wanted to do, come New Year, it was your New Year's resolution, you just never got around to doing it. But now you found like breakthrough in that area because of the pillar of intentionality. Can you think of an example?
Let's see. So an example of being more, say, can you say the question again?
So,
Sorry.
is there an example that you've seen breakthrough in something in an area of your life because of this pillar of intentionality? You've had breakthrough in this area.
Oh, sure. So I would say I have breakthrough even in my faith rising through the declarations that I say. So here's a good example.
Yeah.
An example would be like, I have lots of powerful testimonies about lost things shall be found. I have some really, really great testimonies about lost things being found. Really great testimonies. And so I was like, okay, yes. But then I noticed that my faith was for that one, for that testimony. Yes, yes, yes. And for other people. But then the more I said the declaration of lost things shall be found, the more I intentionally said it and released it over people. Lost things shall be found. Lost things shall be found. Then people are finding things left and right. Like I would hear so many testimonies about people finding lost things. So, which is really amazing. Like my daughter lost a bracelet and I was like, nope, I have testimonies. Lost things shall be found. Boom, she goes right to it. It was amazing.
I love that. I
But
love that.
intentionally, the more I intentionally speak, lost things shall be found, then I start noticing it in all kinds of areas. Oh,
Wow.
my lost hope is found. My
Wow.
lost joy is found. Lost jewelry is found. Lost money is found. And so it
Amazing.
just applies to every area of your life. So
Oh,
that's kind of
I
fun.
love that. I love that, Tamara. Thank you so much. Well, I want to just thank everyone who's joined us today. But before we say goodbye, I'm going to ask Tamara, do you have something that you would like to intentionally release over our viewers?
Oh, sure. I would love to. I would love to. And, even as I think about just the the Christmas season coming up, I had I was asking God this for a couple declarations to for our viewers of this Christmas season that is coming up. Um, and I have a couple declarations that I would just really love to release over our viewers. Because what I heard over this group of people that are watching today, that the little things that they're doing today are making a huge difference
Wow.
in their life,
Wow.
in their circumstances, and the lives of the people that they are in relationship with. So the little things that you are doing today are making a huge difference. And I even heard over every viewer today that the intentional words of life that they're speaking over themselves, their circumstances, over the people in their life, over their Christmas season is having lasting breakthrough for the years to come. And I heard right now that God is helping every single one of us today. He's helping us. He's encouraging us. He's strengthening us. And he's highlighting areas in our lives that we want to walk more intentionally in. He's encouraging us in each of us right now. He's helping us right now to walk in intentionality. And a few declarations that I heard over the people that are listening today is that your intentional times with God this Christmas season is bringing transformation in your life and in your family's life.
Wow.
And I also heard that God is intentionally pursuing each of your family members. He's drawing your family members closer to Him this Christmas season. And I'm also hearing that this Christmas season is bringing continual opportunities for each of you to release God encounters, to release encouragement, to release peace, to release hope into every person that you come into contact with. And I'm also hearing that this is going to be your best Christmas yet because your intentionality is making a huge difference. So those are the things that I'm hearing, Nikki.
Wow, Tamara, I received every one of those intentional statements and declarations for myself. Thank you, Tamara. That was so, I feel like I could go and run a marathon. I have so much hope. And thank you for sharing with us about the pillar of intentionality. And I am sure we're going to hear a lot more from you, Miss Tamara. So thank you so much. And thank you, viewers. And we just release a blessing and favor of the Lord upon you. And we look forward to seeing you in our next